What I want to do in this video is talk to you guys about the price of the paint, the cost of everything. Now, I don't have exact numbers, but I can give you a roundabout. And I want to give you an update on the car as to where we're at and a few of the issues. It's probably not going to look a lot different to you guys than it did the day we rolled it out of the booth, but there are a few things that have changed. So I did go ahead and get the hood painted, but this thing's going to have to be resprayed. It tiger striped on me and also solvent popped. So I guess the base coat hadn't flashed out good yet, and this thing solvent popped on me. Not an issue though. I'll go ahead and address that. Either way though, it's going to look really good, and I'm glad that I spent the time blocking the hood out, because it definitely made it a lot more straight than what it would have been. Other than that, let's see, what else have we done? Well, not really a whole lot, I guess. Oh yeah, did get the hatch on the car, so that's on the car and the spoiler. And I just got the rear bumper sprayed last night, so it's just kind of sitting there. It's not bolted down. So let's talk about a few of the issues with the car as of right now. This color is extremely hard to spray, I'll say. If you look at it just right, you can tell that it's not completely perfect. It's got some modeling in it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just blotchiness, I guess, in it. But it's overall, it's not too bad, right? Considering the conditions, the lighting conditions and everything in the paint booth, I think it turned out pretty good. It's going to depend on what it looks like when I get the ground effects on this thing and get it all washed up and cleaned up, because it's so dusty and dirty right now. It actually looks streaked up due to that. Other than that, there's a few little issues here or there that I just need to wet sand, buff out, and address. Nothing major. The main purpose of today's video though is to talk to you guys about the prices of painting your own car. All right, so first off, let's talk about guns. One of the most budget-friendly guns that most people know about is the purple gun from Harbor Freight. And I want to go ahead and let you guys know ahead of time, you can absolutely use that gun and get amazing results. I would recommend though, if you're going to be spraying a metallic, to probably invest in a gun that atomizes a little better. So this is the Iwata Kiwami. This thing's about $198. A freaking great gun. This gun has a 1.2 fluid tip in it, so it's going to be a little slower for you guys that maybe aren't too comfortable. $198, you can buy this gun. There are cheaper options than that, so you don't have to spend this much. If you wanted to go ahead and just spend the money and buy a gun, guys, I'm not against that. And the reason why I say that is you're gonna get better atomization typically out of the better guns, and they're gonna be easier for you to work with. Now, with that being said, some of the SATAs may not be a good first choice because they put paint out. They put a lot of paint out real quick, so you might want to stay away from the SATAs and some of the Iwatas. But this Iwata Kiwami is a very good gun on a budget. Trust me, I just used it last night and it's freaking amazing. Clear coat prices vary drastically, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These two cans of clear, okay? This can is like 80 bucks and this one is 200. Okay, so there's a big difference in price there. But I will say this, if you have the extra money, go ahead and buy a good clear, because that's what's really gonna put the shine on your car. It's gonna last. So I suggest, if you can, spend a little bit of money, get whatever clear coat you want. As far as which brand of clear to go with, guys, there's too many of them out there. I like Nason 465, so I'll put that up on the screen for you guys now. This auto coat 6101 works really good. That's a high solids clear. And this is going to be more like a medium solids clear right here, more for just kind of an in and out quick job. I really just want to talk about the prices of base coat of your paint. Now, I'm not going to be talking about single stage paints in this, because I'm going to be honest with you, I'd prefer you guys not use a single stage. To me, they're actually harder to spray, because typically you're going to dry spray these things, or you're going to try to put it on too heavy and run it. Me personally, I like a base coat, clear coat. Do whatever you like, just do your research on it and learn how to spray it. Okay, your base coat. So the prices of base coat really depends on what you get. A solid color is typically not that expensive. Go to your local paint store, give them the code that's on the door of your car, or look it up online, or they can look it up and get whatever code you want. Now, obviously you can go around, if you're trying to pick a color out and find a car that you like, that you know is a production color, maybe walk around the new car lot, pick you out a color you like, find the paint code and give it to them at the paint store, and they can mix it up for you. You can paint your Mustang or whatever you got, whatever color you want. Stay away from the tri-coats though. You don't want to do that, meaning you have a base coat, an inner coat, and then a clear coat. That is not probably something you want to do as a first timer, because you have to have gun discipline, and I don't have it to do a tri-coat. And most people just starting out don't either. What else? Materials. So other materials that you're gonna need. Look at this mess. I left this a mess because I wanted to show you guys, this is the type of stuff whenever you get into doing this, you got to roll with it. Like, you don't have time to keep stuff clean. And just know ahead of time that you're going to make a freaking mess, and the best thing you can do is lay out sheets of paper. I didn't do that, and now I'm regretting it because this thing's all screwed up, right? You're going to make a mess. You're going to go through a lot of material. As far as sandpapers go, use whatever you can afford. I would prefer you use a better sandpaper. 3M makes really good sandpaper that lasts longer than most sandpapers do, but it's very expensive. I mean, sometimes double the price of other sandpapers. But you're gonna have to buy your sandpaper. You're gonna have to buy tape. Me personally, I like the yellow tape. You can use green, blue, tan, whatever you can find. Also remember, you gotta have lacquer thinner. You're gonna have this to clean your gun up. And you have got to do that. So make sure after you're done spraying that you pull your gun apart and you clean it up. We may do a video on that at some point. I mean, there's tons of videos out there. I'm just trying to help my audience, okay? I also get a lot of comments asking me, you know, who do I watch? Where do I learn from? Paint Society on YouTube is one of the guys that I watch. The Gunman and Sprayway Customs, Motivated Painters, Pete's Hobbies. Like, I watch pretty much anybody that paints. I like to watch. Okay. Now, let's get back to this real quick, like your base coat. Metal Lux is a really good base coat that you can buy, but it's freaking expensive. This is a, where's it at? This gallon right here of Tuxedo Black is almost $400 for this, okay? So you don't have to buy this. For instance, Nason makes the same color in their base. The mixture on it is going to be a little bit different, but it's probably 200 bucks for a gallon. You see what I'm saying? This was my order right here. I'll try to take a picture and put it up on the screen for you guys. But this is the type stuff that you can kind of anticipate, right? You're going to need some plastic. I bought a few extra little things. The Firethorn Red is the interior dye, and that is going to be the matte clear coat that I use on my trim. Look, that was a $600 trip, okay? And that wasn't everything. That wasn't everything. If you notice, there was no clear coat in there. So as you can see, guys, this stuff gets very expensive real quick, right? So to paint my car, realistically, it probably cost me about $1,100 to $1,200 to paint my car, including the price of this new gun right here. So as you can see, we just had $600 in basically base coat, primers, things like that. And then I come back and bought a $200 gallon of clear. So that's 800 bucks right there. And the price of this gun was $200. There's $1,000. You can throw another $100 in there for just extra materials and things like that. Now, obviously you have to have an air compressor that'll run all this stuff. So hopefully you've got that. I do want to talk about guns real quick, like, because there's a common misconception. This is also a Harbor Freight gun that would work fine. You know, you could use this. But the point is, this is a HVLP. So most people think that a high volume, low pressure gun means that you can have a smaller compressor. It's actually the opposite. Look, guys, I don't know all the ins and outs with these guns and things like that. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend like I know all of this stuff. But what I can tell you is this: a gun, especially something like this from, say, Iwata or DeVelvis or SATA or whatever, any of these guns, you can change the air cap out. The air cap is really what's going to make your gun an HVLP, an LVLP, a conventional. That's what matters. Not so much the gun. The internals of the gun doesn't matter. Only so much can come out of that air cap and the fluid tip. That's what determines how much air pressure is needed to run your gun. You can choke a gun down with a really small air cap and a small fluid tip and run it with a 6-gallon air compressor. I don't suggest you do that. I'm just saying, as an example, that you could do that, right? That's another reason why I prefer you guys to go ahead and buy yourself a nice gun. This is a tool, okay? You buy this thing, you keep it clean, it'll last you a lifetime, okay? But you can buy different tips and different air caps for these guns. That's why I suggest these. This gun has a 1.2 fluid tip. with a relatively small air cap. Look at the holes in this air cap. When I spray my base coat with this thing, I only need about 22 to 25 PSI. Now that doesn't mean just because your air compressor will go to 90 or 120, 160 PSI that it'll sustain that. Your CFM is really what matters on that. So look guys, I don't want to get into all that stuff. I'm not trying to confuse anybody. I just want to tell you guys, please get yourself a good gun if you can afford it. If not, the Harbor Freight gun will work. Just be careful on metallics, really adjust it. I suggest you guys watch the Paint Society video if you're interested in it. Now the question just kind of comes down to, should you paint your own car? That's not a question I can answer for you. You know your skill set, you know what you're capable of, you should be self-aware enough to know your limits. How quickly do you get aggravated? I get aggravated very quickly, but my passion for this outweighs my aggravation. But if you're one of those people that get aggravated really easily, or you get rushed really easily, I don't know, just you have to make that decision for yourself. But you guys are going to struggle probably a little bit more. Now if you've got a ton of patience and you're willing to take your time and source everything and get all of your materials together, lay it all out, have it ready, learn how to mix everything like you need to, you should be good. Painting a car is probably one of the most rewarding things you can do to a car, minus building your own engine and putting it in there and cranking it up for the first time. Learn on an old panel. Go to the junkyard, find you an old hood. I don't care what it is, an old paint can. Practice your spray patterns before you start to spray. Look, painting a car is definitely a lot cheaper than going out and paying somebody, but it is a lot of freaking work. I want everybody to understand this right now. It is a lot of work to paint your own car. I promise you it's not super easy. It's not something that you can just pull it in, spray it, and get it out. Yeah, you can do that. You can do a Mako job on it. But if you want to pull your ground effects off, and especially if you're making a color change, and spray in behind everything, at least get some color back there in case, you know, ground effects shifts and you're looking down and you see red paint on a black vehicle. That's not cool, right? So to do it semi-correctly, even semi-correctly, you at least got to pull everything off and get in behind door jambs and underneath ground effects and stuff like that. So it's very time consuming and it can get overwhelming. Where you will see probably the majority of your issues is if you blow your car apart and you take everything off of it and you're going to spray the hood, the fenders, the ground effects, the bumper, the wing, the hatch, all of this stuff exploded and blown apart off the car. If you're gonna try to set all that up and paint the car and all that stuff at one time, that's a lot. Guys, I'm just telling you, that's a lot of work. I know a lot of people will tell you that's the only correct way to do it. Guys, there's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? It's your car, do it the way you want to. If you just wanna leave everything on it and tape up around your quarter windows and your door handles, I would prefer you not do that, but it's your car, have at it. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. But just be aware, the more stuff you take off your car, the harder it is to get this stuff set up. It's a lot easier to work on ground effects of your car while they're on your car, rather than taking them off and setting them up in here and trying to work on them, because they're flimsy and they're floppy and you got to figure out a way to bolt everything down. So just think of that ahead of time. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of cover a few things with you guys, like a realistic look at this. It's a mess. I'm not trying to hide anything. I didn't create more of a mess for the camera. This is the type of shit that you're going to have. Something pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see it, but look, that color actually had purple in it. The color that's on my car right now. So it's amazing the colors that go into a particular color. All the different toners and everything. Oh, one other thing. This, I do highly recommend you guys, whatever paint gun you get, whether you get it from Harbor Freight or you buy a really nice gun, just go to Harbor Freight and buy this PPS system. I do suggest that you guys go buy this. I think the kit's like 20 bucks and the refills are like $9. All you have to have is the little adapter right here. They sell those at Harbor Freight for most all guns anyway. And there you go. Oh, another option is the Black Widow gun. Actually really good. My dad's got it and I've sprayed with it. I like it. It's good. Do know that you will have to buy the starter kit first so that you can get your actual cups. So the outer cup you see here with the measurements on it and this ring do not come with the refill kit. So just know that. Also, I want to leave you guys with something else that I often say, I just never really say it on the channel, but it's something that I feel like is pretty important. And that is, people a lot of times say, I don't have the money to do something. Well, I don't have the money for that. This is what I have to say. If your heart's in it, your wallet will follow. Now think about that for a second. If you're super passionate about something, you'll find a way to get the money, right? Now I'm not saying put yourself out, put your family out or anything like that, but if you're passionate about a vacation, you'll find the money, right? You'll find a way to do it. If you're passionate about buying a new car, you find a way to do it. You adjust some things in your life so that you can free up some money and go buy, you know, new golf clubs or a new pistol, or like I said, a vacation for the family. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I'm gonna give you another update on the car and what me and Andrew will be doing in the next video. I'll probably shoot that today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.